Oh, I'm trying to minimize Zoom again. There we go. Sorry, I keep trying to switch back and forth, and it's like, you can't minimize Zoom. Oops. Welcome to this week's Read This Next with Laura and Nicole. This week we are doing a kind of fun and impromptu topic. We are doing Spies and Assassins, which is, no, I'm going to say that again. We are doing Among Us, so we are featuring books that are about assassins or spies or things that are in line with that, like lying and stuff.
Mine are mostly liars.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of the game. So for those of you who haven't played it, go download it. It's lots of fun. If you don't know what it is, just like go on YouTube, check it out. It's basically you're trying to figure out who the murderer is on a ship, a rocket ship, and try and survive. It's lots of fun. So if you like the game, maybe you'll like these books because it's a lot of the same vibes and the same activities going on.
Yes. And if you haven't played the game, still, stick with us. These are, as always, going to be things that we think are good reads, and we will have our personal recs as well. So check that out. Might work for you, even if you're not a game sort of person.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump into our highlights for the day. I think you are starting.
I am starting. Okay, so the direction I kind of took with it was not just Spies and Assassins, but I kind of like went into the liar angle. Like someone in the group, it has like a double agenda. What is it? What could it be? So my first highlight is a book by Brent Hartinger, and it's called 3 Truths and a Lie. So if you've ever played as an icebreaker, the game, I've always heard of 2 truths and a lie, but it's basically that. So this is what the book is about. Some friends go on a weekend retreat. Sounds nice.
Normal.
And they're playing an innocent game of 3 truths and a lie. And then it goes horribly wrong. Not just wrong, horribly wrong.
Deadly.
And this is maybe a high octane psychological thriller with romantic suspense. So we're hitting all the genres.
Yeah, really. Very Cabin in the Woods.
Very Cabin in the Woods. Okay, so truth number 1. Rob is thrilled about the weekend trip. It's the perfect time for him to break out of his shell and to be the person he really, really wants to be. Truth 2. Liam, Rob's boyfriend, is nothing short of perfect. He's everything Rob could have wanted. They're perfect together. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Truth 3. Mia has been Liam's best friend for years, long before Rob came along. They get each other in a way Rob could never, will never understand. Truth number 4. Galen, Mia's boyfriend, is sweet, handsome, and incredibly charming. He's the definition of a golden boy, even with secrets up his sleeve. One of these truths is a lie, and not everyone will live to find out which it is.
Ooh, I like that. That is so Among Us.
Sort of like, limited setting and then limited cast of characters and just like psychological. You have to figure out, who's telling the truth, who's lying, why are they lying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's my first highlight.
I love it. Okay, let's see what the next one was. Okay, the next one is Nocturna by Maya Montagnier. It is in the series A Forgery of Magic. I read this one a while ago. Last year, I think it was on my 24 books that I wanted to read that year and didn't actually get 24, but I read this one. So
good.
Yeah, so it's set in a Latinx inspired world, and it's the main character, her name's Finn, and she is able to change faces. So in what's her name? Arya in Game of Thrones. She just changes faces and she uses it to steal things and stuff. So it's very cool because they use a lot of words in Spanish, so it feels very it feels like you're actually immersive? Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Very immersive. So she's part of this group of thieves, and where am I? I'm lost in the thing. Okay. Finn gets caught by a powerful mobster, and she's forced to do a impossible mission: steal a legendary treasure from the Castellan's royal palace, or be stripped of her magic forever. So there is magic in this. I forgot. I mean, obviously, face-changing magic.
Sure, magic and magic that other people can steal from you.
I think so. I think
Yes.
if I remember correctly, that was his magic power.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
he's able to steal other people's magic, and yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Second character, Prince Alfair, is his older brother is murdered, and he is now the first in line for the Castellan throne.
Oh, darn,
And
first in line.
I know it's not a good place to be. Not a good place. And he can't help feel that he'll never live up to the legacy. He's filled with grief, and he's dabbling in forbidden magic. And so the two of them meet up together. They accidentally unlock a terrible secret, an ancient power, which, if not contained, will devour the world. And they work together to solve it. It is good. This was during this was very much during my enemies to lovers phase, where I was trying to find all books enemies to lovers. So if you like that trope, that's a good one.
That's a real big oops.
Yeah.
Look what we've done.
Oops, we accidentally left out this bad thing that'll kill us all. Gotta fix that. Not ideal.
Certainly. Sounds good though. Beautiful cover.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's gorgeous. Our next title actually is a little bit similar in that there's more like royal intrigue happening.
Lots of assassins.
Nicole, I have
royalty.
Yeah. I have a little bit of a story about this. So way back in 2014, and I can date it because that's when this particular book I'm about to rec came out. Mm-hmm. I had a really voracious YA reader, and he read like everything. And then he would get bored because he'd read everything, and he'd come and hang around my desk and be like, Laura, what should I read? What's coming in? What's new? And it was always like, well, I don't know, read this. And then he'd read it. And then 3 days later, he'd be back and be like, what should I read? So one day we were having a conversation, and I said, well, okay, what are you ideal book right now? What would you be looking for? And he was like, well, I don't know, something like, when you end up having to go to court and you're actually maybe a peasant, but they think you're a nobleman, and you have to kind of lie and pretend to be what you're not. And I was like, that's so specific.
You're like, okay.
So specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I was like, okay, well, I'll look for that.
Yeah.
And then I looked, and there literally was a book with just about that. Not exactly, but
wow,
very similar to what he'd asked for.
Got lucky.
And got lucky. Well, and then the other thing that I realized right after that was that all of a sudden this court intrigue thing exploded in YA. There was, before 2014-ish, there wasn't that many books that were set at royal courts, and now there's so many.
Yeah. Yeah, there
is many books set at royal court. Yeah. So he was kind of he made me notice this cresting wave trend. And boy, wasn't he happy with this book, and then many, many other books that are sort of similar. So this particular book is, it's called Allies and Assassins. It's right in the title. Mm-hmm. And it's a duology. So there is a second book, and we have both. We've got yet another younger brother who is having to take the throne. He knows he can rely on the 12 officers of the court to advise him, but he also knows he can just as easily be at their mercy, especially when it appears that one of them may be responsible for his brother's death.
Dun, dun, dun.
Unable to trust anyone, Jared takes it upon himself to hunt down his brother's killer, but the killer may be hunting him as well. Murder, betrayal, and intrigue.
That sounds really cool. I like it's hard. It's a lot of times you find the political intrigue ones are from a female perspective, so it's it's good that there's ones out there that have a male protagonist. And it doesn't sound like it's very love oriented.
No, I don't believe it was. I think it was very sort of the whole mystery of who'd
Mhm.
caused his brother's death and who can he trust.
Very
Da,
refreshing.
da, da, da. Yes, it didn't have the peasant pretending to be something else in the court that he'd been interested in, but it did have all of the like, you know, pretending to be who you're not and trying to figure things out and keeping up a face.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's that's my other highlight.
Sweet. Okay, I will go into mine, which is, I'm pretty sure, another one where it's a prince in line for the throne, which is
That's
funny that we accidentally picked all these.
that is funny. Another
Yeah,
beautiful cover.
absolutely. And then
Like
the cover on the next one is
beautiful.
super pretty too. I think it's like I'll insert both. It's like a red one and it's really nice. Okay,
Gorgeous.
so yeah, the title is "We Hunt the Flame" by
Also a
Hafsa.
good title.
Yeah, by Hafsa Faisal, and it's the Sands of Arawaya, which is a made-up place. So this is again a universe that is inspired by another culture's background. So this is more Middle Eastern culture. So I will read you the description. People died. Oh no, I'm gonna start over. People lived because she killed. People died because he lived. Zafira is the hunter, disguising herself as a man when she braves the cursed forest of the Ars to feed her people. Nasir is the prince of death, assassinating those foolish enough to defy his autocratic father, the king. If Zafira was exposed as a girl, all of her achievements would be rejected. If Nasir displays his compassion, his father would punish him in the most brutal of ways. Both are legends in the king of Arawaya, but neither wants to be. War is brewing and the Ars sweeps closer with each passing day, engulfing the land in shadow, when Zafira embarks on a quest to uncover a lost artifact that can restore magic to her suffering world and stop the Ars. Nasir is sent by the king on a similar mission, retrieve the artifact and kill the hunter. But the ancient evil stirs as their journey unfolds, and the prize they seek may pose a greater threat either can imagine. Oh yeah, ancient Arabia. That's the theme, not the theme, the basis of the world. But it's really good. Again, read this
It
one
sounds
during
really
my
good.
read this one during my enemies to lovers time period of my life, and it was so gripping. Like it made
Yeah.
me, everything that I read about it, I kept wanting to read more and read more. I think I devoured it in like a day. It was very well written and a very fun read.
It sounds great. It really
Mm-hmm.
does.
Check it
And I mean,
out.
that means something. Yeah, that means something for me because I'm not a big fantasy person. So
Mm.
it's unusual for me to be that interested by fantasy. Oh, okay. So this next highlight, like speaking of tropes and enemies to enemies to lovers and
Oh,
whatnot.
good stuff.
So this book came out a couple years ago now, and I remember ordering it, and I remember reading the description and being like, "This sounds a little bit like a fan fiction premise,"
Yeah.
which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that it really did seem to stick to this sort of very familiar relationship trajectory. So the book is called The Love Interest. It's by Kale Dietrich, and that's the debut. Um, so it's a secret organization. This is set in like modern day real world ish. So there's a secret organization that cultivates teenage spies. The agents are called love interests because getting close to people destined for great power means getting valuable secrets. Caden is a nice, the boy next door, sculpted to physical perfection. Dylan is a bad, the brooding, dark-souled guy, and dangerously handsome. The girl they are competing for is important to the organization, and each boy will pursue her. Will she choose a nice or a bad? Both Caden
Mm.
and Dylan are living in the outside world for the first time. They're well trained and at the top of their games. They have to be. Whoever the girl doesn't choose will die. What the boys don't expect are feelings that are outside of their training, feelings that could kill them both.
Mhm.
Who could those feelings be for?
I don't
Chapter.
know. Patience told me all about this book. I think she read it right after you did, and she was just like, Nicole,
Yeah.
this is the best book ever because it's so tropey and so wonderful, but it's good because it's making fun of the tropes while using them. Am I wrong?
Yes. No, you're correct. It's not taking it seriously. This is like a goofy, sort of jokey, satirical, just a fun read.
And
Fun
it's
time.
almost a true love triangle. Almost. Very close.
Almost. Yes. Yes. Almost. Do
Yeah,
you want to
that
explain what
sounds
you mean by that?
sure. The two main characters that are the boys fall in love with each other, but because they're also going to try and get the attention of the girl, they are therefore in a triangle with her, but they don't really like her. So
Right.
it's almost a
Right.
triangle. There's just no reciprocation this way.
Because so often people are calling things love triangles, and it's not. It's like a love angle.
I
It's a
love it.
V.
I like that.
It
That's
is.
exactly what
It's
it
not
is.
a love triangle.
It's a
just
love
angle.
angle. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That one looks good. Is that do we know if that one's a own voices one?
I believe that is a pseudonym. That author name, I think it's too popular why authors writing together, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
I like
so
that.
I'm not sure if it's an own voices or not, because they are a secret.
Ooh. I should add that the We Hunt the Flames and Nocturna are own voices before I forget.
Yes, as is Three Truths and a Lie.
Yeah. Own voice.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the last one, which is Warcross by Marie Lu. I haven't read this one, so I can't give my own description. So, for the millions who log in every day, Warcross isn't just a game, it's a way of life. The obsession started 10 years ago, and its fan base now spans the globe, some eager to escape from reality, and others hoping to make a profit. Struggling to make ends meet, teenager hacker Emika Chen works as a bounty hunter, tracking down players who bet on the game illegally. But the bounty hunting world is a competitive one, and survival has not been easy. Needing to make some quick cash, Emika takes a risk and hacks into the opening game of the International Warcross Championships, only to accidentally glitch herself into the action and become an overnight sensation. That sounds really cool, but there's more. Convinced she's going to be arrested, Emika is shocked when instead she gets a call from the game's creator, the elusive young billionaire Hideo Tanaka, with an irresistible offer. He needs a spy on the inside of this year's tournament to uncover a security problem, and he wants Emika to do the job. I think that's in Own Voices as well, but it sounds really very like if you liked Ready Player One, that might be up your alley.
Yes.
And it definitely plays more into the video game aspect of Among Us than the spy aspect.
Well, I guess at the tournament or whatever, that would be the spy part, really, right? She's trying to watch the other players, figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is I think maybe a duology. There's at least 2 books in that series in Warcross.
I think so. I just lent that one out and I don't remember. I should know, but I don't. It is what it is. Now, do you want to do the first highlight or do you want me to do the recommendation? Sorry.
I can do the first recommendation.
All right. Okay. Let's hear it.
All right. So I read this book recently, like in September. Just in September, so very recent. And this is one I mentioned it as on like a quick roundup in a previous Read This Next episode. But this one is, we didn't do a full description of it. So the book is called One of Us is Lying. It's by Karen M. McManus, and it has been like a bestseller. It's been really a big hot title. And there's a sequel that came out this year, also very popular. And it is it starts out a little bit similar to the Three Truths and a Lie, in that there's like a set cast of characters in a set location. There's 5 students in detention. There's Bronwyn the brain, Addie the beauty, Nate the criminal, Cooper the athlete, and Simon the outcast.
Breakfast Club.
Very Breakfast Club. So they all have their roles. And Simon, the outcast, he is the creator of their high school's notorious gossip app. Only Simon never makes it out of the classroom. Before the end of the detention, Simon's dead. And according to investigators, his death wasn't an accident. On Monday, he died. But on Tuesday, he'd planned to post juicy reveals about all 4 of his high-profile classmates, which makes all 4 of them suspects in his murder. Or are they the perfect patsies for a killer who's still on the loose? Everyone has secrets, right? What really matters is how far you would go to protect them.
That sounds really good. And you read that one.
I did read that one.
It sounds good.
So it starts just in the detention, but then it spreads out like quite a bit into like the rest of the high school year, and they're all suspicious of each other. Like it's multiple perspectives, so you like spend time with each of the characters, and they're wondering like, is so and so lying? Did they do it? Yeah, it's just like a fun, fast-paced. I keep calling these terrible books with murders fun. It's a fast-paced, quick read thriller. Yeah, like some twists and turns at the end. Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a lot. And in that same Read This Next, or about the same time, I'd recommended another book, All Your Twisted Secrets. And it's another one that sounds similar. It's like another like 5 or 6 students, and they're trapped in a restaurant and someone wants to kill them. Don't read that one.
I remember that because you said you put it in as a highlight, and then afterwards you're like, oh, I shouldn't have highlighted that one.
Yes. We try not to be too negative, but that's another one that comes up if you're looking for this like books like this One of Us is Lying. It comes up. It's like, oh, try this one next. Don't bother. All Your Twisted Secrets. It is just nonsense. It's straight up nonsense, but not even fun nonsense. So yeah, that's my personal recommendation.
Love it.
If you're looking for something with some lying and sneaking and
figuring out
what does this person mean?
Yeah.
Gossip, right? Terrible gossipy stories in high school. It'll just bring you right back, maybe, if your high school was that exciting.
Oof, mine wasn't.
There was lots of secrets in mine, but nobody was murdered. So that's good.
I mean, that's a plus. It's not something you want.
It is a plus. Mm-hmm. No.
Okay, my recommendation. I specifically put in I'd Tell You I Love You, but then I'd Have to Kill You, which is a Gallagher Girls novel by Allie Carter. But I'm really just recommending anything written by Allie Carter because all of her stuff I think even in her Goodreads bio, it's like writes about girls, teenagers, and spies. And I was like, yeah, and thieves, I think. So she's got the one series called Gallagher Girls, and it's all fun like titles like I'd Tell You I Love You, but then I'd Have to Kill You, or Only the Good Spy Young, and things like that. But she has another series called Heist Society. So Gallagher Girls is this girl named, forgot her name, one sec, Cammie, and she attends a school where her mom's the principal, I'm pretty sure, and they are training to be spies. So they get put on these missions and stuff, and they're classic spy stuff. They're solving crimes, taking down criminals, and at the same time noticing cute boys. So that one's a series. It's pretty cute.
And there's all it's like a boarding school, right?
Yes.
Isn't it? So it's got all those fun like boarding school tropes, right? Like they live there and they're in the dorm and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then there's Heist Society, which is another series in and of itself. And I liked it a little more. That one is about a troupe of art stealing people, but they try and return the art to the people who originally owned them, like who they're supposed to go to. Or am I? I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I mean, I didn't read those.
I could be wrong, but my remembering is that it's this group of like young thieves again, and they're part of a big group with older people, and the older people are like, you guys aren't as good at stealing. So
Sure.
they go on their own big one where they steal this big art piece, and you're on the
They're
edge of
trying
your
to
seat.
prove.
Yeah.
They're like, we're as good at stealing as you are.
And then they become well-renowned art thieves, and there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of intrigue. I feel like they're like a younger YA, but they're still really good. I think we should mention, I think every single one we mentioned today is YA.
I think so. This has been a YA heavy episode.
Yeah. It's easier to find
That's all
spies
right.
for adults. It's not that hard. Just
It's
type in
true.
spies. Go James
Yes.
Patterson. Yeah.
Those are our Among Us spies and lies.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm so pleased with myself. Spies and lies recommendation list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spies and lies.
There you go. I pulled it out at the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our list of recommendations. As always, all the show notes will be available on tbplofftheshelf.com.
We are at tbpl across the board. Follow us, like us, talk to us. We would love to hear from you. We also have an email, read this next at tbpl.ca. Is it
Mm-hmm.
I always forget. So we are 2:15 now on YouTube and Facebook. So catch us there. We do we do watch the live chat, and if anybody's commenting, we try and comment back, because it's more fun when we get to hear from you guys. So talk to us, and we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.